Hi friend, Eric here. Welcome back to Grief Questions Answered. It's my goal with these videos to share everything that I've learned about how to find support and eliminate the loneliness of grief and how to gain an understanding so that we can survive, get back up, and live beyond the loss of a loved one. And if this grief tip doesn't help you today, I'm really confident that it can and will help you at some point in the future. And so if you haven't done so already, click that subscribe button down below. So this is the best way that you can get notified of new videos like this and to show support for the channel. But let's go ahead and dig in on today's grief question. And it comes from Deb, who asks, how can I be brave to do the things alone without my husband? I'm really glad that Deb asked this question because it covers two very important aspects of the grief journey. First, how can we feel brave to go on, and how do we do things alone where we once had the companionship of our loved one to do these things with? So first, Deb, let me just say that you are already brave for making it to today, because I know how difficult it can be to make it to the next day. And sometimes even the next hour when you are grieving. And I know it's not easy. And so it absolutely takes an act of bravery and courage to navigate grief in the first place. But I also want to take a second to tell you how proud of you that I am for carrying on, because I know this isn't easy. And not only that, it's also important to remember that even if you're crying, even if you're having moments when you just feel really sad, it's not a sign of weakness, by the way. Crying is a sign of strength, courage, and bravery. And if your crying makes others uncomfortable, then stay tuned, because I'm going to address that in another video. But let's get back to the original question. So as you continue to navigate your grief, while it seems like it doesn't get easier, here's what happens. You get stronger. And here's what I mean by that. I'm not talking about becoming numb and putting up walls and putting on a ton of armor to cover yourself up. I'm talking about using your bravery to become more resilient and strong, so that you're not just surviving, you're actually finding ways to get back up and live beyond the loss of your loved one. Now, when we talk about doing things alone, that can feel very strange. Why? Well, because for a very long time, you were comfortable doing those things with your loved one. And I'm sure that it hurts a lot that they're not going to be moving forward with you and doing these new things, right? And so I can tell you that it's still very hard to comprehend that Zoe isn't here any longer. I can't do any new things with her. I can't take any new pictures of her. I can't share good news with her. I can't even take a vacation with her, right? And it's really hard to figure that out, but I do know she's with me. And I think you all know what I mean by that. So I'm guessing that's also why I often get the question, how can I move on without them? Because I asked the same question myself, and it's something that I really wanted to dig into. And so, my friend, I know this isn't easy. It's not easy to resolve it internally too. And so to make this shift from feeling this unfairness of having to do things alone to doing things again, maybe for you, it's about asking yourself, what can you do that makes it possible for you to carry on? Let me share with you a couple of examples of what I mean by that. So one of my coaching clients, Jen, told me that her husband used to do all of the handyman things outside of the house and around the house, inside and out, right? And so she relied on him to take care of it so she wouldn't have to. And after he died suddenly, she was left to figure out how to take care of those things and get them done. And it created a lot of worry and frustration and anxiety for Jen. And so we were talking on a call, and we came up with a list of options and people to call, like friends, family, and even some service providers. And she found that that reduced her worry and anxiety. She had a hot list that she could call right away. And it worked for her. And it was a good step forward for her. And it wasn't ideal, but she had to do it. And then Terry, who's a member of our group, Let's Walk Together, she used to go on vacations with her husband because that was their thing. Every year they took a new trip to a new location. Every year they looked forward to going And when the second anniversary of his death came up a couple of months ago, instead of not doing anything, she actually planned a weekend trip with her girlfriends. And she told me that it felt awkward and different at first. And there were definitely moments that she was happy, but she was definitely happy that she went. And for her, it created a new memory for her. And it reminded her that she can carry on. And she said, I'll always have my memory of Tim and our vacations together. And I know he would have wanted me to do this anyway. And so I did it for me. And so I'm so happy to hear that from Terry. And so for you, Deb, as you're already brave for not only wanting to take the next step forward, but also for the steps that you've already taken. I know this isn't easy. And you're not alone, right? I invite you to look at what's possible for you when it comes to doing these new things. And look, there's no rush or pressure to figure it all out at once. We just take one step at a time. And I do hope that these examples help some. Now, for those of you who are watching this, tell me, what are some of the ways that you've discovered these new things along your journey? Comment below and let me know. I hope this helps you, Deb, and everyone who's watching. Do you have a question about grief that I can answer for you? Let me know in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe below and to not only pick up your free grief support book from the link in the description. Thank you so much for watching this. Let's walk together, and I'll see you in next week's video.